Hi there, stampers and crafters. My name is Tami White from stampwithtami.com. And today I have a super cool masculine card that I'm going to be sharing with you. And I'm going to share how to make this super cool faux metal background and tool effect. It's so easy and so cool to make. I think you're really going to enjoy this card. We'll be using the new Nailed It Stampin' Up stamp set in the 2017 Occasions catalog and the coordinating framelit dies that are so stinking cute, and they make such fun masculine cards. All of the supplies that I'm using today will be available in my online store, and you can get more information and a free PDF by clicking on the link in this video description. Let's get started. And here's today's card up close. Just love this. Super fun, great masculine card idea. The main parts of this card were created with the Stampin' Up Urban Underground suite, which is in the Occasions catalog. It is just adorable. It also uses the new Hexagon Dynamic Folder. I'm going to show you how to make this faux metal background, and these are so flippin' adorable. These are the Urban Underground embellishments. So cute, and these are all available in my online store, and there is a free PDF on this card on my blog. We are going to start with our stamping. For the happy birthday, I'm actually stamping this in the center of this white layer that's going to be layered underneath, and we're going to cut this panel right out of it. You're not going to notice because it's going to be covered with our faux metal layer. But this is a great tip on conserving paper. I'm using the window shopping stamp set for the happy birthday. But you could totally switch this out for Father's Day if you wanted to, or for other occasions. I'm using the Stays On Jet Black ink pad today. I'm going to ink up the happy birthday and stamp it right smack dab in the center of this white panel. And on some white scrap, I am going to be stamping the screwdriver and the hammer. And we'll also want to stamp just the bottom of the screwdriver and the head of the hammer on some silver foil cardstock from Stampin' Up. So just going to slide some scrap underneath there to protect the workspace. Not sure I got the entire part on there, so I'm going to stamp that one more time. There we go. So we have all of our stamp panels. Now we're going to color in our hammer and screwdriver. If you have the Brights collection of markers from Stampin' Up, they work perfectly. I'm using Real Red and Crushed Curry, but Daffodil Delight will also work here. I'll probably put Daffodil Delight in the supply list just because they come together in the pack of Brights. So starting with either the Crushed Curry or the Daffodil Delight, you want the brush tip end of the marker, and you can tell that by the thick line on the marker. I'm going to go ahead and color in the head of the screwdriver. And of course, you can color coordinate these to go with the man in your life's tool collection. I know that some men like to color coordinate their tools. True story. And we're going to do the handle of the hammer in Real Red, and then some of the accents on the screwdriver in Real Red. All right, now that these are completed, we can start our Big Shot work. Okay, I've got the Big Shot die cut machine, magnetic platform, and one cutting pad. We can cut almost everything all at the same time. This is actually quite beautiful. We're going to put our little nut and screw black image on some scrap, and then just line up the hammer and the screwdriver from the Build It framelits. I'll be using the Lots of Labels dies from Stampin' Up for the happy birthday. We are also going to be cutting that out of a piece of black scrap. Believe it or not, we can do both at the same time, making it possible for us to make all of our Big Shot cuts at once. So I've got a piece of black, it's actually scrap, that's underneath here. And once everybody's all lined up, we can place one cutting pad on top and crank it through, and this enables us to cut everything all at the same time. Pretty amazing, right? We literally just cut 6 pieces for our card in one foul swoop. So there is our label and what's going to become our shadow of our label. Save this white piece, it's going to be a layer. And if those didn't pop right out, just take your paper piercer and poke in those little holes and they'll come right out for you. Okay, I'm swapping the magnetic platform for the Big Shot platform. and we are going to do our dynamic background. This is awesome. These dynamic folders are brand new. You'll find that their impression is almost 3D, like super cool, and they're much thicker than the regular folders. So what that means is we only need one cutting pad. So that's going to go straight on the cutting platform, one cutting pad on top, and crank it through. And I've got the silver foil cardstock in there from Stampin' Up, which is going to create the background. Awesome, right? That is just so cool. When I first opened up that Occasions catalog for the very first time, the very first thing I wanted to do was play with that Dynamic Hexagon folder and the silver foil to make this. Next up, we're going to trim out the head of the hammer and the screwdriver that we stamped on the silver foil. I cut them very, very tight to their outline. Here's what they'll look like when they're cut out. We can also go ahead and cut the two edges off of our black lots of label die. Okay, next up we just have some assembly, and this is the fun part. So we'll go ahead and put our card base together. I'm going to put a little piece of white on the inside. If you want to stamp some fun little pieces on the inside, that's awesome too. And I'm using snail adhesive to attach our base layers. I'm putting the snail on the edges of our faux metal layer, and that's going to layer on top of this white that we cut the lots of labels out of. And then I attach this layer to the card with some Stampin' Dimensionals. I wanted a lot of pop on this card. So that's our card base. Next we're going to attach the side frame panels to the lots of label panel, just using some snail on the edges there, and line those up on either side. And that can also attach to the card with some Stampin' Dimensionals. Now here's a trick. I didn't attach it exactly in the center. I pushed it a little tiny bit to the left to allow some room for our hammer and screwdriver. And attach the metal part of the hammer head to the hammer, and the same with the screwdriver piece. Those just line right up. We call this paper piecing. It's a simple technique for a real wow. It looks realistic, doesn't it? Just want to start banging things with it. Do the same thing with the screwdriver. And then we can go ahead and attach these little accents, the little nut and bolt accents, to the bottom. I just use snail for that, or mini glue dots would work. And lastly, I just attached our tools to the card, and I used the edge of the dimensional pack for that. Probably you can put a full one behind the head of the hammer, but I found that the edges worked perfect on the handle, and they work perfect behind the screwdriver. And then we'll just attach that. And I just realized I forgot to sponge the edges of the white label panel here. I just used a Stampin' Sponge and the black ink pad. It does give it a little bit of a pow there. Here's without and here's with. They still look great either way, but it's not over until we add some embellishments. Now, I used the screws on the original, and I'll use one of these guys on this one. Oh, so cute. I just love it. And I'll add this alternate idea to my blog post as well. And you can get the free PDF there and all the details on this card. Be sure to sign up for my newsletter while you're there too, because I give away free card tutorials every Tuesday. Thanks for joining me today.